Alright, welcome. I am trying out this new experiment of coaching from my computer, and yeah, we'll see if this works. We're gonna analyze one of Mark's jumps from his meet last Friday at San Jose City College, and so this is a new computer program I have where it allows you to track the center of mass of the athlete. And we can see, how much of a drop he has, and his speeds, his accelerations, and everything. And as long as we just put in a scale here, and we know this is 12 feet, I put that in there, we can tell, how high he is, how far he jumps, all that stuff. So anyways, so let's go ahead and take a look at this jump at full speed first. Mark goes along, jumps, and I think he ended up about 20 feet, 10.5 inches or so. I think he said 6.36 meters. So anyways, so that was his jump. So let's go ahead and take a look at this a little bit, step by step. So right now he is about to land on his second to last, or I guess third to last step, penultimate. It's this is his takeoff foot. He's a right-footed jumper. So right now, his running mechanics are going to be the exact same. And actually, let me get rid of this mess right now. There we go. So right now, his running mechanics are going to be the exact same as they are when he's sprinting. He probably won't be going near quite as fast. It'll still be attempting to be controlled. So runs. So actually, let's go back a little bit. So he comes through here. If you notice, foot comes straight up to the butt. Posture stays upright the entire time. Everything looks good. Okay. There's his one count. Everything is still the same, right? I mean, nice and upright. Good. Toe up. Knee almost parallel. Everything's right where we want it. But now he's getting ready for his penultimate step, or his second to last step. And what he does a good job of is, you'll see, he hits. Let's go back one step. And what you see is there's a lowering of the hips. Okay? So he's dropping down a little bit. He's landing flat-footed, nice heel contact. And rather than pushing himself up for his next step, he's going to let this knee just roll forward. It's gonna, so that you'll see the shin just rotate right on the ankle. So it rolls forward, and it rolls until the point where the foot bridges. Now, if you notice with other steps, it does roll forward a little bit. It has to roll forward because you spend time on the ground. But if you notice, it rolls forward, and then he's off. That foot's already off the ground. Okay, rolls forward, foot's off the ground, pulling through. Now here, it's going to roll forward, and you can see that foot bridging right there. That's almost a 90. So he keeps that foot on for a long time. Now, he does a really good job of that. He also does a really good job of staying upright. If you notice his posture, very upright, everything's looking good. The one thing that he's not doing too good is this heel is coming up to his butt. On your second to last step, you're going to want to bring that foot low. You should have a low swinging foot. Okay? And that's important. You don't want to be bringing this foot up normally, because that's going to actually cause you to lift up. And what we're trying to do is go from a lowered position so that when you hit the board, you can jump up. You don't want to start rising now. Okay? So he brings that up, and that causes his knee to swing up. Okay? Whereas he wants this foot, he wants that foot to stay low. He wants it about right here. So maybe his leg's at a 90, comes off the ground and just comes up to about there, and then swings through low. Okay? Swings through. No. He's okay. Now here's where I start to have another problem with it. If you notice, this leg is already out pretty far. If you notice, it extends out. And what you want to see with any jumper is at the last second, there's negative foot speed, meaning this foot comes backwards. And that's the idea of running off the board. You don't want to slam into this board and block all your speed. It kind of makes you pop up in the air. You kind of pole vault using your leg, and it looks good and feels good, and it feels like you generate a lot of force, but that's not what long jumping is. What you actually want to do is have a negative foot speed, so this foot is actually brought backwards. And if you can see, Mark's leading with his heel. If we look at the next frame, goes right into the ground. Okay, so you can see this difference right there. There to there. There to there. And so that contact is just putting a huge amount of force right on those quads, and is actually breaking and causing him to slow down. Okay. And so now he's got to absorb all that force right now. This doesn't feel good. And then now the body's absorbed that force. Now he's going to try to lift up. And he does a pretty good job getting back into upright position. The center of mass pretty far in front of the board, which is good. You want it to be, a good distance, hips out in front of the board. I mean, this is a great position. Good triple extension. Everything looks good. The thing is, he really slowed himself down. That's the big problem here. So what I would tell Mark to do is, one, right here, that foot, that's as high as it needs to go. Now swing this leg through. Okay? What he does is he keeps lifting it up. And then that causes this to come up. And then that heel casts out, and boom, right into the ground. And then this is just the problem position right now for him. It's blocking a lot of his speed. Okay? So I'd say up to here, he's perfect. Up to here is perfect. That's as high as it needs to go, though. Okay? Swings through. And then from here, again, we want to see negative foot speed. We want to see that foot coming backwards and hitting. So maybe he's reaching a little bit. But I don't think he's actually conscious. If he was reaching, we'd actually see the toe come down first. But he's still leaving the toe up, which is okay, but we need this to be reaching back so he lands flat-footed. He does is hits the heel and then flattens out, obviously. Okay. In the air, like I said, great position right there. That's a perfect position. I'll take that 99 times out of 99 times. Okay. Next thing you want to do, extend this leg and bring it down and back. He extends it, brings it down and back to fight forward rotation. Does a good job there. Brings the arms up and around. Perfect. Okay. Swings the legs forward. And now the only thing that he wants to make sure he does is right here, when he's leaning forward, that actually moves his center of mass here in front. And the center of mass is going to follow its path no matter what. And so what he wants to do, he doesn't want the center of mass here because his butt is now a good 1.5 feet behind his center of mass. What he wants to do is keep his torso perfectly upright so center of mass is closer. So now his center of mass, so his butt's only 6 inches behind his center of mass. And so he's not going to lose that distance. You can't change. Once you leave the ground, your center of mass is locked in. So all we're trying to do is minimize the distance between our center of mass and what hits the ground first. So he wants to actually stay upright here. Feet out, more in an L position rather than a V position. Okay. The arms, usually it helps to swing them down and back. That helps to offset angular momentums that are creating rotation. But yeah, he's probably leaning forward a little bit too much there. And then you can see the feet drop out. That's okay. Then the knees absorb the force. Butt lands into the hole. I mean, that's perfect. So other than him leaning forward a little bit too much, that's a pretty good landing. Okay, and this is not a bad jump, almost 21 feet. But with the speed and the power that we know Mark has, he definitely should be going a lot further. And the main problem is, I would say from right here, this is the spot where things start going bad for him. Okay, lifts the heel a little bit too high. Again, this is a great position right here. The foot is bridged. He's just rolling over that, letting himself lower. But that knee is way too high. This should be a 45-degree angle. That knee should be like this rather than that. It's almost parallel right here. That's no good. So again, nice and low. That foot swinging right next to the other one. And then the other thing he needs to look for is negative foot speed, as in this foot goes backwards as opposed to going in there and just blocking speed. Then he's going to maintain a lot of his speed if he brings that foot back right now. And so what I would tell him is to try to make this last step a little bit shorter, and that might actually cause him to bring this foot down quicker and in a backwards direction. And then he'll run off the board instead of right there just, that's like 5 times his body weight of force that he's just putting through his leg right now. And all of a sudden has to absorb that first, and then with whatever energy it has left, try to push off and get him out there. And so he has a tough time. But other than that, good jump, one small correction, bring that foot a little bit lower, and I think he'll be okay. Anyways, so this was my attempt at explaining some long jump for you guys. Hope that helped. Bye.